Hi guys, welcome back to Stainpokes podcast. I'm Dean, and as always, I'm joined by the triangle faced person, Raymond.
How's it going, folks? Gotta be quiet on my intro of the day, man. How's it going?
It's been all right. How you?
Fucking same old, same old. Set up my reptile tank. I'd at least started setting it up. I need to order another bag of bark for the boat, mate, because I've ordered the size 2B. So that should arrive tomorrow, and I'll get the rest of it set up. What about yourself? Working?
Just working like usual. Nothing new there. So this week's episode, we thought we'd talk about wrestling because we're both quite big wrestling fans. We both kind of followed wrestling for about the same amount of time. We're both kind of big TNA wrestling fans. So this episode, we're going to mainly talk about TNA because that's what we kind of watch mostly together. But first of all, we'll talk about what got us into wrestling. So Raymond, I'll let you crack on. You tell us what got you into wrestling.
Well, one of the kind of earliest memories I have was going to stay at my grandparents at the weekend at my nana and papa's back. And I remember my nana went to bed a wee bit earlier than us, and me and my papa would be sitting flicking through the sports channels. And I remember seeing Kane choke slamming somebody and just thought, wow, who the fuck is that guy? Even just as a wee guy, I remember seeing that. But one of the kind of most distinct memories for back then I can remember was Triple H's return in 2000 or 2001 when he returned for his quadricep injury. The year that he won the Royal Rumble and the WrestleMania as well was fucking just the energy that I felt when Triple H come through that curtain after being away for as long. And at that point, I remember having one of the games as well and knew who Triple H was, but had never actually seen him on the screen. But when it's, oh my God, he's coming back, he's going to be back, time to play the game. I think that's actually the first time I fell in love with Motorhead as well, never mind just wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, a lot of people into a lot of music with wrestling.
It was wrestling. You ken yourself, I've got a Shinedown tattoo there, and it was WrestleMania 22 that got me into them. Mm-hmm. Jamie Shanklin will argue that it was him that got me into Shinedown, and I always argue with him that it's, you know, mate, fucking the wrestling beat me to it. But he was one of, I will give him the credit, however, he was one of the first people I knew round about here other than myself that had heard of Shinedown. But
it's probably because he watched wrestling too.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, me and Jamie had that conversation before. I'm pretty sure that was how he found out who they were. And I think the way it worked out, that DVD came out about a year or so before we really started running about at Jamie's, but that's we can fill that in a different episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about Jamie's at one point. Mine's is because I cut the camera away from myself there was getting something out I actually forgot to get out before we started shooting. Mine's is because three videos that were very important to me as a kid, and well, you think I'll say very important to me. You wouldn't guess looking at them anymore. I've not got their things to them anymore. These are WrestleMania. Right, this is when I can figure out what one says. WrestleMania, that's 4, isn't it?
Yes.
Aye, WrestleMania 4, so that's the one with Andre and Hogan, so that must be the second time he slams him. That was a tournament. Then there's WrestleMania 7, that's Slaughter and Hogan. And then that's 9, that's the Coliseum. So these tapes I grew up with watching since, I don't even remember what age I was. My brother got them off of somebody. And this will make you laugh, and this will make people who come not laugh. So only people who come not will understand this. These tapes came from Marion Jackson's son. My brother got them off of Marion Jackson's boy. I can't remember why. And wanted to look it up. This is
No
property
Video
of
West.
Video West. Every one
Uh,
of them has got that on it. They're all from Video West.
For
Which,
anybody that doesn't recall where Video West was, it's the in Cumnock, the Lloyd's Bank has got next door is a pound shop, and next door to that is a pound shop. The one in the middle between the bank and then
The
the
new-
other pound shop used to be Video West.
the newest pound shop. The newest opened up pound shop.
But no, that is quite funny that there's things. In fairness, mate, I've got a couple of. Oh well, actually, I don't anymore. I might have a DVD somewhere that came from Blockbuster Video and Air when it shut down.
Oh Jesus, I've got a few Blu-rays for there. A few of my Blu-rays came for video, for Blockbuster. Because obviously,
A
why not?
total random bit of Blockbuster history as well. Like that shut down the same time as Saints Row 4 came out. And I remember buying Saints Row 4 the week it came out for £19, brand new. Because it was part of the Blockbuster closing down stock.
Mm-hmm. Boy, I went to college where he done it, but he'd actually bought it offline. I then went to Blockbuster and it's half the price.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did. I went. It was one of the ones I wasn't even intending on buying it. I wanted to get. I did want to play the game, but it was one of the ones like right. You can yourself. I'm not really that big a gamer.
Right.
You know, like
I'm not going to go pay 40 quid for a game.
I'll take the notion to play a game here and there, but I'm not paying 40 quid for it. I'll wait until it comes down in price and I'll go and get a second hand copy.
Mm-hmm.
But when I walked into Blockbuster and thought, right here, that is the price of the second hand copy of the fucking game previous. I'm buying that and I've got money in my pocket.
No, I mean, no.
I actually remember telling Fudgy about that, and I'm pretty sure he ran round to see if there was any games he would fancy, but there weren't. Like all the decent games were gone. I just happened to be lucky to be there when they were opening a box of Saints Row 4.
Mm-hmm. I was just lucky enough to get them. When I went on, it was all like I can't remember. I think Limitless. I go out of there. That's only the end I can actually remember buying. I bought a couple more, but Limitless was only in it. It was a couple of pounds. So the one that like I wasn't like great movies.
We're getting sidetracked, though. We're
Aye.
supposed to be talking about it. That is just a totally random bit of history because you had said that was Video West DVDs.
Video West, aye. So by having the videos as a kid, I'm to remember what age I'd been. I'd been young. I'd probably be like 5 or something. Bar watching Power Rangers, the movie. I was watching the 3 tapes, and that's even WrestleMania 9 that everybody selects. And I love WrestleMania 9 because I've watched it that many times. I don't even hate the ending with Hulk Hogan pinning Yokozuna at the end. Everybody raves about it, but it's Hulk Hogan. Like that's that. But Hulk Hogan was my hero. He was meant to do that. Especially at that point, that was like the big thing. I wasn't into fucks about Bret Hart. Bret Hart was Bret Hart, in my opinion, was just a hitman. He was just a Hart Foundation, and the 7, I guess, and 7 does a tag team with the Hart Foundation. So he was on the Hart Foundation for me. He wasn't a solo competitor, so I wasn't really caring when he was fighting Yokozuna. Whereas Hulk Hogan was always the main event, so I cared about Hulk Hogan. But then,
you didn't really. At that age, they didn't really get mid cards and but no, we didn't understand like the wrestling industry at that point. We just thought, oh, he's big, I want him to batter him. Because I've got that, mate. That was the whole sole purpose that I got into wrestling was that first time I seen Kane choke slam somebody, and that first time I heard Lemmy saying time to play the game. Definitely. Which kind of gives me a nice easy segue into our next point, which was my Jeff Hardy obsession growing up.
Aye. No.
So
when I met you, I wasn't really a wrestling fan. The reason I kept up to date with wrestling wasn't watching the wrestling anyway. It was playing the games. I had every wrestling game. Here
See,
comes the
at that point with WWE, I was that way too. It was wrestling games that kept me up to date with whether you were like not really understanding why Jeff Hardy would be on one game, then knowing the next one, then he would be on the next one again. But then looking back at it and thinking, oh, there's a lot of demons there that I wasn't aware of when I was a wee boy.
Aye, but when I met you, you actually used to dress like Jeff Hardy. You used to have the socks. You used to steal your mum's socks and cut them up and put them on your limbs.
It was never my mother's, mate. Do you honestly see Jackie wearing neon colours? Do you see my mother? Do you remember my mother as a person is no colourful?
Was it? You used to steal something for your mum. Was it her tights? You used to steal something to cut up for it. Might have been tights.
It was never my mother's. It was Iwa's girlfriends. So
I was there. You still something off your mum for them, but I'll let you.
Bandanas and stuff I stole for at home, but tights it was usually ex-girlfriends, and I stole them, cut the fucking holes in them, and wore them up the arms the way he wears these fucking things that he takes off to throw away. Which, and watching it, is the only reason he wears them is so that he can throw them away. It's the same with John Cena and his fans.
Because see
they're rocking elbow pads.
See the new John Lockdown era. Guess what? He doesn't even come out with them on. He's stopped coming out. He doesn't wear them anymore because there's no fans for him. It doesn't wear them. Don't quote me on this. I might be wrong, but as far as I can, every episode I've seen, he's not worn them. The last.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. Like,
I was having watching it, but.
The last thing I watched wrestling wise was this year's Royal Rumble because it was the start of the road to WrestleMania, but I forgot to pay my network. We have resolved that issue. We have in fact resolved that issue, and I'll be back to normal viewing schedule directly.
I haven't, but I'm still watching it. Yeah, so you were quite badly obsessed with Jeff.
That's pretty much the way it was. No, I'm not really as much now. Like, it definitely surprised you that Matt or Jeff won the front runner suggestions for the wee man who we found out who were pregnant.
That's what I thought. I thought Jeff would have been in name somewhere. Jeff or Nero, I thought would have been at least the Wayne's middle name. I was just saying because how much he cared about how much you loved Jeff Hardy. I was expecting Jeff and Bam. They were the two names I was expecting to be in the front running for your names for your kid. Thank fuck you never did, because they would have been two stupid names, but they were names I was expecting.
See, I think it's quite funny because, like, when Dean's saying obsession, really has was a sort of an obsession at the time, and I can still remember some of the daft facts, like how old Matt and Jeff were when their mum died. As a fan, I've got no reason to know that, but I do.
And you've always known every fact about them.
At that point in time, like, Nero wasn't a known thing back then. Nero wasn't. Nobody really knew of the Nero and his many different fucking alter egos. But the fact that I knew his middle name was Nero back then, that was fucking a strange thing to have known. But I can still remember how old Jeff Hardy was when he was in his first ever fucking in-ring match, and the fact that he had to lie to them about how old he was.
I was 16.
All stuff that I'd learned from watching a DVD one too many times. Like, definitely got an addictive personality like that. When it comes to something that I'm interested in, I'd learn fucking everything and memorise everything. Like, here's one, man. Fucking like started fucking about with playing cards because of an episode of Penn and Teller, and I thought, here, I'm working night shift and fuck all else today. I might as well learn that.
And
when folk started questioning it when I was just walking about shuffling a deck of cards, why do you do that? Because it's easier than carrying a guitar. Sometimes when it's somebody like that knows me, they would just like laugh off it. Like, oh, here, good point, fair point, like, haha. You get other folk would be like, what? Of course it's easier than carrying a guitar. But folk that ken me know that I play guitar as well, so.
Well, I even people who are watching this who don't ken you play guitar know you play guitar since you know there's guitars in you.
Mate, you never know, they could be ornaments.
True. Right,
In fairness, for my channel, you would never know that was the one that I'm pointing at has actually been used, because I've not used it for any videos on the channel.
if you've seen promo pictures for your previous band, you would know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, off topic again. So,
I was too easy to get sidetracked.
Let's talk about TNA.
TNA and how we covered it.
So TNA or Total Non-Stop Action or Impact Wrestling or GW I can't remember what it became after that for a bit, and then it became Impact Wrestling again. But
mate, when did you sign the check to start advertising for them?
I know, but I just so everybody knows what we're talking about. So TNA was it still is a wrestling company that was at that point when we were watching it. It was kinda the second wrestling company challenging WWE. It was never a big challenge. It's more like AEW is a bigger challenge. It was always a weird challenge. But
it was never competition the way WCW was competition.
Aye.
Nothing.
It was offspring of WCW.
But with TNA, it's like WWE was the A list, TNA was the B list.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get fed up working with WWE, you went back to TNA for a while. Then you made a surprise return at a Royal Rumble and you were back in WWE again.
Right, basically.
Mate, I'm fucking straight up. Freeview Television. God bless Council Estates. Fucking Freeview Telly was how I discovered TNA. I think it was either Bravo or Challenge that it was on at the time.
Right, it was on both of them at one point, but we've been talking about this before, and we can't remember what order they were in. They were on that many different channels.
Can't remember what order. We've narrowed it down to it was definitely on Bravo because Bravo was the channel that introduced both of us to Sons of Anarchy.
As you can tell, I'm a big Sons fan, and I found that channel. I found I did for it watching Sons. I'd recall watching TNA. When I found TNA on Sky, so it was a bit different for him. I had Sky television in my living room, with Sky Plus, so we could record stuff. And I used to record things on it, and then at night time sit because with the one computer and with that one family computer, and that's that in the living room. So at night time I'd go sit in the MSN and watch whatever I recorded, and then sit and watch Scuzz and stuff. And I recorded my TNA, so I used to sit and watch it on a Wednesday.
Kids that get what MSN is.
Well, MSN and
MySpace.
It would have been Bebo at that point. At that point, when Bebo was on. So I was sitting watching TNA on that, and I thought I found it on Sky, so I might have found it on Spike to begin with, and then it would have moved to Bravo because I think I watched it before you. I think I was watching it a couple months before you.
I thought they went to Spike TV after all that.
I can't remember, but
I thought Spike TV was the reason it went off a Freeview.
Right, I can't remember now. But we ended up. We were watching it on the telly separately. So I'd watch it, you'd watch it in your house, and then the pay-per-views every month we would get together and watch it at each other's house. Like I'd either go to my bit 1 month or your bit 1 month to watch it. And then
that was actually something that led to what folk at the school didn't believe was the fact that we drank it through the week.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would, fair dues, it wouldn't be a heavy session, it would maybe be 6 beers between the two of us over the 2 or 3 with pay-per-view.
Right, but it was still a drink.
Drinking alcohol, still drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how much you're drinking or what age you're drinking it at.
Right.
It was still regularly drinking through the week, then going to school the following day. But in fairness, it was in fucking, it wasn't as if we were going out getting steam and then going out and getting pissed. The way my mum and father looked at it was, it's no different to my dad watching the football with the boys.
Right, and it's not like the thing is, it's because we're out in a field. It's because we're out in a field, they're out in the middle of fucking in the forest drinking. We were in each other's houses under mum and dad's jurisdiction, and folk didn't like that. Folk didn't like the fact that we had our parents' freedom to do that sort of thing. I think that's probably the reason.
Mate, more than likely is the reason, like, because fucking, I don't know how many times I would come home from school and have a beer with my dinner while I was sitting with my mum and dad.
Aye.
That it never get mentioned that was the way it was going. But you know for a fact there was a lot of them at the school that even if it was that they were doing, they would be in the school bragging about it the following day.
Right, I had a beer. Probably a light, probably like half a can.
I had a swally last night, and when they had a swally, they mean they had a half pint of shandy.
Right. But but when we were watching it, so the pay-per-views were always, because it was a pay-per-view, we had to wait like 5 or 6 days for it to come on normal TV to watch it.
I think it was at the most it was 10 days, but it depended on how long the month was.
Mm-hmm. And that was
right. If it was a work, it depends. If it was a 5-week working month, you had to wait 10 days. But if it was a shorter month, you had to wait 5 days to a week.
Mm-hmm. It was obviously shite because
it was definitely shite, but it was ideal when we found out that a neighbour around the corner was quite clever with computers.
Right, and he had he was watching it. So he ended up putting onto DVDs for us, so we'd get it the next day. So the pay-per-views were on a Saturday, we'd have it by the Sunday. Or no, pay-per-views were on a Sunday, we'd have it by the Monday night. So we would end up we'd just start taking turns right over a bit, and then one of our mates, Kel Samson, again makes an appearance in every podcast we've ever made. And surprise, he makes another appearance. We go to his papa's bit, again, another appearance. We go to his papa's bit and watch his bit and have a drink with him again every Monday and sit and watch this wrestling. And that became a monthly thing for a good year, at least, going into Samson's, but probably.
Mate, I think, did that not end up going on? I was at college before we stopped watching TNA Weekly, was I not?
See, I can't remember. I can't even remember exactly when. I remember exactly when I started watching it, but I don't remember when that was. If you get what I mean. I remember what storyline made me start watching it. I remember what episode start watching it, but I don't remember when that was. I think it was two. I might have. No, I was going to say 2014, but it couldn't have been. I'd have been 2011 probably.
One of the things that definitely drew me to TNA was that there was a lot of names that you knew for WWE with TNA at the time, because it was the main event Mafia.
I get Sting and Sting and Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. Big names. Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, Booker T.
They also had the main cast of characters that were shit hot and amongst themselves.
My favourite wrestler of all time, and still will always be. My favourite wrestler forever was always Undertaker, until I watched TNA and found AJ Styles. And at that point, it was just wrestling X Division matches, and it blew me away. The things that guy done was amazing. And now, like he used to jump off the top rope for fun, and now it's a finishing move. in WWE. That annoys the fuck out of me. Like, that is my biggest complaint about AJ Styles in WWE. Is his finishing move is just something we would do 10 times in a match in WWE and TNA.
I think the funniest thing about AJ Styles is that meme that cuts about him. Like he's in TNA, he was a troubled teenager, and WWE is the mother of a troubled teenager.
That's for hair.
Because of the hair.
He's gone for his Grand Slam.
I could take it, man, but I had the long hair long before AJ did.
He's gone for his Grand Slam. He's gone for his tag titles at Mania.
I didn't know he was up for the Grand Slam yet, man. I can. Would that not mean that he'll be the first one to date in WWE and TNA then?
Yeah.
So, well.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's his Grand Slam because he sent them all. As far as I can, it's the ICT.
The hell do you know? I didn't know he had the United States.
I had the United States last year.
As much as wrestling's always been something that I've liked, a day I go through stages. I go on and off liking it and watching it.
Aye.
But it's not even a case of I'll turn around and go, right, I do like it this week, and I'll watch it for a week, then go, right, I don't like it this week. It's just sometimes other things get in the way and I forget that there's stuff coming up. I mean, there was until we were talking about it earlier. I forgot that WrestleMania is in 2 weeks.
I forgot until a couple of days until yesterday.
I thought we still had a few months to go to WrestleMania.
I forgot until yesterday to put my mind in for it. I'd put my holiday request in so I can get a day off.
Otherwise, I'll probably still be off more.
Aye. If it wins, I've just googled it. So if he's won the WWE Championship twice, IC wins US 3 times. So he only needs to do.
Yeah, it goes to show you that I really haven't paid attention.
So yeah,
I think it'll be what 5 years for made his debut in WWE.
No, it wasn't Dundee.
I thought we watched that one.
No, I was in Dundee for that one. I was watching with Stevie Buster. So it'll be.
Maybe I watched it at James.
It'll probably be 3 years or 4 years now.
Aye, I thought it was like more than that. Talking about TNA, the one rivalry I need to mention. I can't just mention them as individual wrestlers for this because the rivalry was fucking spectacular. But it was Motor City Machine Guns and Beer Money Incorporated.
Two of the best tag teams ever. Full stop.
Mate, in my opinion, the two tag teams were TNA's answer to Edge, Christian, Matt and Jeff, and the Dudley Boys.
And then
technically, as much as Team 3D was on TNA,
I was just going to say the best. So you're talking about Beer Money, I remember Beer Money and the Machine Guns, but when I think of Beer Money, I also think of the tag match they had with 3D for the IGP tag team titles. So technically, you can chuck them in it and have the three, same as the three in WWE. Technically, the Dudleys were in there as well.
They did have the triple threat kind of aspect to it, but I just think fucking Motor City and Beer Money competed just as well as any match that you could have thought of with the Dudleys and the Hardys or the Dudleys and Edge and Christian, or the three of them together. They did try and they like overtop it like at Bound for Glory when it was the Four Corner Full Metal Mayhem match. The Team 3D versus Motor City versus the Main Event Mafia versus British Invasion, I think it was.
Right.
That was the pay-per-view where Zach Wilde fucked somebody over the head with a chair for being cheeky to him or something.
Aye,
Uh,
hot him too hard. Gave the guy a concussion, I think it was.
hit him too hard because Zach Weld didn't realise that the guy was just carrying on with him. Zach Weld was just a big hairy biker that seen somebody getting in his face and he thought, you what?
Mm-hmm. Aye, that's probably the three were probably. We used to walk about shouting beer money. We thought we were beer money.
Beer!
Like beer money's the best. They're for the best of them all. There was a couple of characters in TNA that was the best. Like AJ, I say AJ Styles probably still my favorite. But beer money was amazing. The machine guns were fucking awesome. They were really cool too. With a bass.
Best gimmick ever. You've already pointed out Monster Abyss, but I was just thinking one of the best gimmicks ever was Suicide and Shark Boy.
Suicide 2 was only a character because the video game.
Aye.
Like that's what makes it even funnier.
It was a character video game that has now been in it for longer than anybody else.
Aye, exactly. It's now like these are like two characters in it and shit. I don't. To be fair, I don't watch it nowadays. I watched a bit of the last Bounce of Glory because the big things were happening in it, but I haven't really watched much TNA. I keep up to date with it through YouTube. Like I look at all the thumbnails and stuff. But that's really it.
I couldn't even say I go that far, man. Every now and again, I get some random like top 10 of like most violent matches that are fucking strangest backstage incidents and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
One that the Waynes really enjoyed was watching WWE Storytime. They thought that was hilarious, the fact that it was a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But it was wrestlers telling the stories and she trying to explain to them that no, these are real life stories. These are things that actually happen to these guys.
No, I never watched that.
Oh mate, there's some cracking stories about Jake the Snake Roberts on it.
Right.
Like even if you think it does come across as a really stupid idea, but if you can get by that and just like be the wrestling fan, imagine you're just watching an interview rather than watching a daft cartoon that goes along with it. Like watching it from that standpoint, it sounds quite cool because it's like hearing Jake the Snake telling you about how one day he was in the airport and he hears his name getting shouted across the tannoy saying, "Can Jake Roberts go to get blah blah blah?" And he thinks, "Oh, very good." Leaves his beer sitting and he walks by a window to see fucking half a dozen airport staff standing in a circle and this fucking raging snake in the middle of it. He just stands there. An airport manager comes up and goes, "Excuse me, Mr. Roberts, you're going to have to go and deal with your snake." And he's just like, "No."
Not happening.
What do you mean, no? It's like, that's one fucking raging bastard snake. And I never let him out his box.
So fuck you.
You let him out, you can deal with it. But, like, mate, the boys thought these stories were hilarious hearing them, so they did.
Mm-hmm.
You were saying one of the things that really stand out with Monster Abyss was when RVD appeared in TNA. And
when he was that was during the Hogan time. So that was when they were Monday nights. During the RVD Monday Night War.
Was the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam did the whole effing show. That
was a good thing.
he was on the show within for about 4 weeks and won the title. And Abyss had the fucking greatest heel turn of all heel turns, in my opinion.
Right, that was great. I loved Abyss at that point.
But even better than when the Big Show had the double fucking turn.
That's when he ended up doing up Hogan. They had the Hogan signs and stuff. He walked about with the big 2x4.
Another one I really liked for TNA is you could say it was a team gimmick, but Fortune.
Aye.
I know I'm fair enough. I'm mentioning three members of Fortune we've already mentioned tonight so far with Beer Money and AJ Styles.
technically suicide.
On a technicality, we mentioned suicide, but we haven't outright mentioned Frank Kazarian
Frank
or
Kazarian and Christopher Daniels.
Daniels.
Two AW
So,
wrestlers nowadays.
mate, I wouldn't even have known that.
Aye, they wrestle for the AW.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought some of the stuff that they done together then after Fortune split up and Kazarian and Daniels went off and done the bad influence stuff.
That's when AJ was being the heel. AJ
think
as a heel was good. AJ Styles as a heel was really good. I liked AJ Styles as a heel. That was way before that was the first time as a heel. You what?
Was that not about your least favourite storyline?
That was after Fortune, I think. I think that was how Fortune broke up. Where that storyline broke them up. It was running about that time. That was a horrible storyline. That was when the Frankie Kazarian and Daniels were really good pals. AJ Styles, and it was the beginning, TNA originals. They thought him and Dixie Carter were having an affair and were trying to break it to the world. And then it turns out it wasn't. It was they were trying to get this woman sober. And then it turns out that this woman had sex with AJ Styles and was pregnant. And it turns out she was just framing AJ Styles. And
it was all just a ploy to ruin his life and stuff, man.
Just talking about it hurts. It was terrible. It was the worst storyline in wrestling. I don't care what you say. It's my least favorite storyline I've ever watched personally. It was just that bad. And TNA had a lot of bad storylines. Some of the storylines in TNA were quite bad, but that one was terrible.
See, in fairness, they did have, like, as we say, some cracking gimmicks that way. I'm trying to think of some of the excellent ones that we had. Actually, probably one of my favourite moments, and it's another Fortune moment, was when Jay Lethal.
Woo! I watched that today. I actually was watching that today. Surprise, actually. That is, Jay Lethal. Oh my God, Jay Lethal as Black Machismo when he was being Macho Man was amazing. When it was Lethal Consequences with him and Xavier Woods, all day, thank you, please.
Oh no, Lethal Consequences.
Then when he turned into, because it was Consequences crazy at that time, it's Xavier Woods. But then when Jay Lethal turned into Ric Flair, oh my God, that's so I could watch that all day. Just them going woo to each other. I watched the whole thing. It was the whole clip with them going, You can't fight me. You can't do me, and taking off his shoe. Oh,
elbow drop in the suit jacket.
Gold, comedy gold. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, go watch it. It is comedy gold. That's slapstick humor to the finest.
See, in fairness, mate, I can't imagine only non-wrestling fans are stuck about this long. Unless your name's Jamie Arachie.
Or Golly, because Golly's not a big wrestling fan either.
Golly.
Hi, big fans. Just trying to think if there's anything else we can talk about. Right? Talk about TNA. We're trying our best to talk WWE here. I know we're starting talking about WWE, but we'll leave WWE for another day. We'll just kind of talk about TNA today. The knockouts were fantastic. The women in TNA were fantastic.
See, I think the knockout division were trying to do what WWE done.
Aye, what WWE has done nowadays.
They were trying to do the women's evolution before WWE did, but they just didn't get the push.
Aye,
they could get the push that they needed, even bringing names down for WWE.
Right, like bringing in Mickey James and stuff, who was fantastic.
Mickey James, and honestly, the fact that TNA decided to put in the Knockouts tag titles, that's always been something that.
They've just brought them back.
Eh?
They've just brought them back again.
Aye.
No, they brought them back last pay-per-views.
Is it the 4 main ones the years, or is it still 3 main titles?
No couldn't the tag. I think no couldn't the tag. I think it's 3, and then the tags, I think.
And then with the Knockouts division, it'll be 2.
I think it's 2. I'm not 100% certain. I can know what they had.
That was something that TNA done. That was a good thing, I thought, because it gave the women more to compete for than just the WWE fair dues when they done the brand split first time round. They added that extra women's tag team title in, but even at that, they added that extra women's title in rather than the Divas title. But even at that, they didn't really give them anything to compete for further than that. Like, think about it. You can make your start in wrestling, you've got to aim for something, so you aim for one of the lower titles before you aim for the higher one. It's just the way you do it. But
title.
With the women's division, they don't really have that. It was, you win the women's title, what else can you do? Or you've won the women's title, so time for you to go and pose for Playboy.
Exactly.
It's kind of the way it was back then. But now, there's the women's title, like, I can't try not to talk about WWE, but there's 3 different titles WWE. You can jump between the shows and try and win the 3 of them.
The tag titles don't count. That's right.
Well, mate, I wasn't even going to mention the women's tag titles here in WWE. I was just going to suggest the fact that 3 main shows in WWE, that's 3 women's titles now, as opposed to there used to only be 1.
And there's no women's tag titles on NXT.
Well, there's the women's tag titles on NXT, which is the same separate thing. You're getting women to fucking headline pay-per-views now.
Right, but TNA were doing that. TNA did that when we watched it.
They done a Hale women's pay-per-view.
Aye. Every year.
Back. TNA never
did
done.
TNA did that every year.
Did they do one?
With a knockout special every year. Every single year with a knockout special.
I remember, mate, fuck you, I forgot all about them.
I can't remember the name of it now. But there's a TNA special knockouts. What was it called? The Rain TV thing. The knockouts are fantastic. I like with ODB, who was amazing. Like ODB, it was stood for a win dirty bitch, which was
mate, she was just she was just a raging white trash woman. Basically, didn't give 2 fucks. Walked up with a hat flask, which
I got that for courage.
Those characters run about Cumnock, those characters run about New Cumnock, those characters run about air that spring to mind straight away.
Aye, just ODB.
You could just tell them and be like, no, you are ODB out of TNA.
And what I told the storyline she made it when she married Eric Young. That was amazing. They became the women tag team titles together. That was
knockouts tag champions.
That was amazing. That was crazy.
I was going to say one that I can remember was my pal Jed. When me and him went to, we didn't go together, but we were both at the same event. Was when AJ Styles came to the Citadel in Ayr. So it was quite funny because Jed didn't care I was gone that day. So he was being a right wee dick and rubbing it in that he met AJ beforehand and got his picture taken with him and stuff and sent me the picture of him sitting talking to him, and I sent back a picture of me standing outside the venue waiting to get in.
Weird day.
It was one of the ones that fair dues. It's kind of dickish move that you're sitting there talking to him now, but I will see him in 20 minutes when I get through the door. I just sprung to heed the now there, like, if they're talking about TNA and stuff, because, well, AJ being a TNA original,
Right.
can't really talk about TNA with the ultimate classic match, AJ versus Samoa Joe versus Daniels.
But that triple threat is synonymous with TNA and always will be. It's still one of the best TNA matches of all time. If not the best.
Even as a fan of the Hardy Boys, that match tops anything that Jeff's ever done, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I get fucking there's more guts in jumping off the 20-foot ladder than some of the stuff that they done in that triple threat, but still
The technicalities to it.
Fun moments for the technical aspect, for the crowd pops, just for the creative aspect of what they done.
For all, which is amazing.
The fact that Samoa Joe was built like the AJ Styles and Chris Daniels put together, but could still move just as quick, just as fucking, just as agile. He could flip just as good as them,
or quicker, or better.
It was definitely a right. Let me see what you think I can do now.
Because AJ Styles is my favourite all-round wrestler, but Samoa Joe is my favourite in-ring wrestler. Because the guy is amazing when he goes in that ring, bell to bell, he's the best. But AJ Styles is just a better mic, with the mic and all that. He's just so much better. That's why AJ is my favorite wrestler. Or it would be Joe. If Joe was a better mic person, it'd probably be Joe. But it's no.
Samoa Joe, the only wrestler on Samoa that isn't related to The Rock.
Right, exactly.
Oh, the kid fell.
So I think we've rambled enough about TNA this week. And TNA.
We've rambled a fair bit.
So I think it's tight. I think we'll just call it there and say bye in that. So are you getting to promote this week, Raymond? You getting the channel coming up?
As usual, couple of new covers on Facebook or on YouTube over the last week. They'll be linked down underneath us. A couple of new card tricks, they can also be linked. I have got an idea in the pipeline that should be recorded between now and this getting aired, so it should get put up and it'll be the next part of the guitar collection video.
Cool.
So I'm going to do a acoustic part plus an electronic part, like just talking about what pedals I've been using and what kind of orders I would use them in the board, because I've been building my board, so I can maybe talk a wee bit about that as well.
Probably good. We've always seen that.
I did see that you've got 2 of your DVD collection up.
Nah, it kept me up. It went live on, well, it went live on the Saturday, which is technically the day we're shooting this. The spoiler insider. It went live on the Saturday, so it's live now. If you want to go check it out, it's B and C, this collection. It's usually doesn't sit. This messy. I need to, I really need to get another day off so I can shoot the rest, so I can get this sorted. I'm currently editing this third part, which is D and E. That's what comes after D. So that they'll hopefully, but maybe next Saturday I might have that up, depending on my days off and stuff. So yeah, actually I will be live in this. So if you want to keep an eye out for any more Stainpoke stuff, hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to see anything that this one does, go to check his channel, link in the description. Or you can wait till the very end where there'll be things on the screen you can hit. You can hit the my button for mine to subscribe to my channel. You can hit his picture to go to his channel and like his channel. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been the Stainpoke Show. We'll see you next week. Always ends the same way. Raymond always ends. No talk. We'll look at the camera and never says bye.
Oh, sorry, mate. Cheerio. Cheerio, Andrasta Maharic.